Hi Scaniflyers, it's John here. In this video, I'll show you how to import 3D models into your 3D mapped environment. Now, since Scanifly combines the best of 3D mapping and 3D modeling, you can use your 3D mapped environment as a canvas to do some really cool things, like design solar PV arrays and import 3D models. So let's dive right in. There are two ways to import 3D models into your 3D mapped environment. The first is from your local drive, and the second is from your 3D model library. Let's start with the local drive upload. Now, Scanifly has always had the ability to import 3D models from your local library. These 3D models are often exports from SketchUp, but you can export from any 3D modeling software as long as you can export a zipped OBJ file that contains texture and/or material files. For this example, the homeowner plans on planting a birch tree in their front yard to provide some privacy and shade. They want to see what impact that tree has on their future PV system that they want to install. So we just happen to have a 3D model of the birch tree. So let's import that now. So first, let's make sure that we have all of the files in the folder. So in your folder, you should have the OBJ file, material file, and/or texture files. Now, if you just have a texture file and an OBJ, that's fine. If you have an OBJ file and a material file, that's fine too. So let's go ahead and compress this folder. Next, we'll upload it to Scanifly. Select Upload in your local library. Okay, let that process for just a few. Okay, there we are. So let's select the checkbox there. And here we are. That 3D model is just kind of floating around there in space. So let's move that over to where it needs to be. Now, a few tips here when it comes to navigation and moving that 3D model to where it needs to be, scaling it and rotating it here. So by default, when the 3D model imports, it imports with the move function enabled. So you can select these arrows here on the z-axis here, x and y. Okay, you could also move on one single plane here. So this is on the x and y plane here. And you could also move on the z and y there. And there's also kind of a freeform move by selecting this diamond here in the center. Okay, so let's move this down. And as always, it helps to kind of interact with that 3D model here and kind of move around, orbit and pan over there and zoom in and out. Okay, looks good. So it looks like we're at grade there. Let's move that over. All right, so the homeowner plans on planting the tree somewhere in this area there. Let's go to scale. So we can scale this on the X and Y and also on the Z just for the height there. We could also scale this proportionally by selecting the cube there in the center. Great, looks good. Okay, now you can measure this as well. Let's just select this off there. Let's go to the ruler tool. Select one of these top branches here, or top leaves. And go to X-ray mode. Looks like we're about 24 feet. Let's go back to import models. Alright, so this tree can get up to about 50 feet or so. That looks pretty good. Okay, now you can rotate this as well on the X and Y. You can rotate on the Z as well. Let's move this over. Here we go. Let's go back to that shade tool here. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be some shade, not much. So now we just move this over, move this out of the way here. Okay, so the second way to import 3D models into your 3D mapped environment is to import those 3D models using the Scanifly 3D model library. So let's add a few trees here in the front that are evergreen trees. So if you go to Select, Low Poly, and let's add a few conifers here. Select Seed, and Plant. Here we are. Now let's check both of those trees, select Move, and let's just move those down. Right to grade there. There we go. And let's scale these down just a bit. Looks good. Move this over. Okay, great. Let's check out the shade here. Okay, there is some shade. Let's go back to Import 3D Models. And let's make these just a bit smaller. Come back to shade. Okay, that's better. Let's just remove this module. Now let's import a inverter. Let's go to Inverter and select the inverter you would want to import there. Select Plot and Place. Select the checkbox there. Rotate. Let's move that back just a bit. There we go. We also have an AC disconnect here. Select the checkbox again. And let's rotate. There we go. Select the escape key. Now, you could also import a ladder, which is really cool. So let's go to the 2-foot extension here, select Plots, and Place. Scroll down to Ladder, there we are. Right at the bottom there, let's just rotate this just a bit. And we'll move that over. Awesome, looks good. So we have our ladder, inverter, AC disconnect, 2 low poly conifers in the front. So on the corner of this roof here, there was a satellite dish. It didn't quite map that well. You see there's a little bit of an artifact here of part of that satellite dish. So we have a satellite dish in the library here. Let's go to Telecom Infrastructure, Satellite Dish, and Plot, and Place there. Scroll down, Satellite Dish, select the checkbox, move that over, uncheck, and there we have it. We have our trees in the front, satellite dish on the corner, centralized inverter, AC disconnect, and the ladder in the back. Really cool. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for watching.